Toyota is trying their darndest to make the Prius cool. And Case, that's what we're looking at today. What are we checking out?
This is a plug-in hybrid Prius, and Tommy, it's in a pretty eye-catching color, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, this is called Karachi Yellow. This is a nightshade edition of the Prius. And in today's video, we're gonna take this Prius out in snowy Colorado and find out, is this the best hybrid on the market? And have they finally made the Prius rad? But Case, we gotta talk a little more about this color because Prius is typically not known for their flashy shades.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's also very icy. It's an interesting color because it's somewhere between yellow and gold. It's bordering a little bit on gold. I wouldn't mind if maybe it slightly leaned a bit further in that direction. But what I do like, for sure, is that it's a nightshade and everything, even the Toyota logo, is blacked out on this car. So there's pretty much no bright work anywhere, and it looks good, it looks modern.
It does, yeah, and I really like these little fender flares in this kind of gloss black. I'm not a huge fan of gloss black wheels, but with the yellow, I actually think it looks pretty good. And then over here, we've got the gloss black mirror caps. This one does have the option for the glass roof, which is kind of a nice piece of technology. And then out back, this is probably my favorite angle of the Prius because they've done this thing where it's got that sloping cam back design it's always had, but it's much more angular and aggressive back here.
I gotta say, this car in general from the exterior is a great bit of design, which a couple years ago was something we never thought we would say. But from the exterior, it's a good looking vehicle. I especially love, as always, the way that they integrated the door handle for the rear door into the back of the window so that you don't really notice it so much. It makes everything look a little bit sleeker. That being said, the sleeker roofline does limit a little bit of your storage.
It sure does, and it also limits a little bit your practicality for rear seat occupants. Now here we can see a little bit of additional storage underneath the back, and then this is going to be your charge connector. Let's see what they give you. So it looks like we've got, I think we got level 1 and level 2 connectors, which is great to see. Potentially level 1? Yeah, level 1 and level 2. So on a fast charger, you could charge this thing up in a matter of a few hours, and then you don't have to go out and buy like a 220 volt thing. It comes included. That's great to see.
Yeah, and this being a plug-in hybrid, you get around 40 miles of all-electric range, which is nice. For a lot of people, that would cover their commute.
So underneath the hood, we're going to find a 4-cylinder naturally aspirated transverse mounted engine. Total system output in this car, 220 horsepower. Case mentioned that this is the Prime, so you get that 40 miles of all-electric range. And then here's where things are kind of interesting. When the engine kicks on, this is technically an eCVT, but is this a belt and cone?
No, this is a planetary gear set, which is nice. It's more durable.
Yeah.
And the engine is a 2-liter, so it's, like you said, a 4-cylinder, 2 liters, and I believe the engine itself is about 160 horsepower, but that combined output, 220, which means that this car is reasonably quick accelerating. It's not anything that you're gonna go out and race for pinks with, but it's not bad.
I think they say around 7 seconds 0 to 60, which is really good for a Prius, and it runs on olive oil. 0W8.
Yeah. Super light.
That's a thin oil. There is one drawback about this Prius that we're finding out, or we will find out today. If you get the Prius Prime, it's only front-wheel drive.
Yeah, so this is not an all-wheel drive model, which today would be kind of nice as front-wheel drive, so it still works in these slippery conditions. The other interesting thing is that they're moving away from the Prime nomenclature. So on the back of this car, it just says PHEV, which I think is a little unfortunate because I thought Prime was a good way to brand their vehicles, and PHEV is just a little more generic.
Yeah,
so I kind of miss that name.
Thanks for correcting me on that. I totally forgot they got rid of the Prime name altogether. But here, I'll open up the door for you. Let's check out the inside and see some of the features that this thing has to offer in here. Now, this is not going to be our full review. This is just a this just in, as we call them, because I just dropped this thing off. But we have had it for a couple days. We have had some time to drive it. So let's do power on. Of course, there's going to be no engine that kicks on. And this dash design is pretty interesting. We got some very unique curves and angles that make their way across the whole width of the car in here. You get this very spaceship-like steering wheel experience where the steering wheel juts out at you. And then we've got these channels that guide your eye toward the display here. And it doesn't need really a heads-up display because the actual instrument cluster sticks up pretty high.
It does, and then this 12.3-inch screen in the center, that is an optional extra, so that costs a bit more, as does the glass roof over Tommy's head. That's another $1,000 on top of the regular price of this car.
Which is pricey. Would you spend $1,000 for a glass roof?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah, it does make the interior feel a little bit airy. One thing I have to say about these new Priuses is because they're kind of low and wide now, they're a little bit more cramped inside and they do feel a little bit squatty. So if you're taller, headroom's a little bit of an issue here. Let me show you the back seat. I'll kind of show you that problem up close and personal.
Yeah, I love that door handle at the top of the door.
That's really good design. So 6 feet tall, fully jammed up here, right?
Yeah.
And the old Prius was more of a bubble, so you could have a lot more space in the back.
That part's not great. Also, the lack of vents back here.
Good point. Yeah.
On the rear console. There is some power, USBs.
A lot of power, 1,500 watts, which is cool. USB-Cs down there, but you're right about the
vents.
The vents are a bummer.
Yeah, and to your point, the headroom. So it's not the most spacious, but those are the sacrifices you have to make to have a good-looking hatchback.
Yeah, right about that. All right, well, let's go take this thing for a spin, see what it drives like. Now, Priuses typically are built for efficiency, they're built for longevity, and they have proven both of those to be very true. Priuses are very reliable cars in the long run. Now, let's take a quick look at the Monroney here so you guys can see the pricing. So this one, Case talked about 40 miles of range, 48 mpg when the battery dies. So if you actually plan on never plugging this thing in, don't get the PHEV because it gets worse fuel economy than the standard one. Why is that? Weight, I think.
Yeah, a little heavier.
Yeah, and then the final sticker price on this one, a tick over $41,000. So they can get pretty expensive.
Yeah, although that's still well under the average MSRP for a new car, which has now gone over $50,000, which is pretty shocking. We've got heated seats in this model. Do you have a heated steering wheel?
I don't believe I do in this one. No.
There's nothing to the left of the wheel.
Oh, I do!
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
Nice.
Wahoo!
So it's
awesome.
a well-optioned and well-equipped car.
Yeah, that's cool. Look at this, we're sliding the Prius.
Oh, it's not exactly a power slide.
No, it's, well, yeah, exactly. But here, we'll get it on some dry pavement. I do believe we have a couple different drive modes here, including Sport, Normal, and Eco. So we've gone into Sport. Let's see what EV mode we're in. We're going to go into the hybrid mode here. Full throttle. There it goes.
That's plenty.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
It's not neck-snapping acceleration, but it's plenty to merge in with traffic, no problem at all.
Let's see what it's like in the EV mode. We are charged up to 34 miles of range.
So almost full.
It's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I wonder if that kicked the gas engine on. Sometimes on these EVs, plug-in hybrids, when you go full throttle, they will kick the gas engine on.
Yeah.
Also temperature dependent, right? Sometimes the gas engine will kick on to support heating the cabin. But this car actually drives really, really nicely. The steering is incredibly overboosted and very, very light, but the ride is very good, and it's much more willing to dance with you than the old one was. The old one was like driving a toaster. It was a perfect appliance. This one at least has a little bit of soul to it.
Yeah, it looks much better. It's a decent car to drive. Like you said, it's got light steering. It's not a sports car by any means, but it's very pleasant. It would be a great road trip vehicle. And then once again, for your daily commutes, the fact that you've got as much as 40 miles of range on electricity alone means that you really most likely won't have to use the gas portion of the powertrain that often if you don't care to.
Yeah, so you got a couple different trip informations here as well, so you can see like how far you've gone on gas and electricity. We currently are sitting at 34 miles of range, which is pretty cool. You also get some additional information in that cluster. So you get like EV drive ratio, you get your eco score, which is not great for this drive because we've only floored it. And then you've got your average miles per kilowatt hour there.
Yeah, so lots of information that you get with this car. Overall, I really like what they've done with this vehicle. It's one of the vehicles that I get into and think, this would actually be a fantastic commuter car. I would be very happy in this.
It would be, especially one like this in yellow. Now the question is, Case, do you save a little money and get the standard hybrid, or do you spend the money for the plug-in hybrid?
I would spend the money for the plug-in because I would be able to plug it in at my house, charge it up, and once again do most of my commuting on electricity alone, which would be great.
Yeah, I think that having that 40 miles of range is kind of a game changer if you live in a place where you can drive it year-round on electricity. If you live in an apartment building and you don't have access to regular charging, don't get the plug-in hybrid. It makes no sense at all. You get worse fuel economy because you're dragging around that extra battery. Like, just get the normal one. And if this is going to be your only car, like if this was my only car here, I might consider getting the the non-plug-in all-wheel drive one. That'd be pretty cool.
That's true. Front-wheel drive, even around here with the right tires, will get you most of the places that you need to go. But all-wheel drive is nice. It is a pretty mild all-wheel drive system that you can get in the Prius.
Sure.
It's not
going to be that beefy.
Yeah, it's not as substantial because it's just a relatively low-power electric motor on the rear axle, but it helps.
This also has Toyota Safety Sense Everything. So it's got adaptive cruise control, it's got lane centering, it's got blind spot monitoring, it's got really good just driver assistance technology. Toyota has really improved Safety Sense over the years, and this is a great system. The one thing which I think is funny, Case, just a little bit of a shame, is I think that this is by far, we're probably in agreement, the best generation of Prius that they've ever done.
Yeah, especially looks-wise. Definitely not in terms of spaciousness.
No, but in terms of efficiency, electric range, looks, this is the best. This is the high water mark. Yeah, me too. But the problem is, Toyota's hybridized everything. So I don't see a lot of these new Priuses. It used to be where we're at in Colorado, you used to see Priuses everywhere. But you don't see as many of these new ones, and I think that's because now RAV4 hybrid is everywhere,
Sure.
Corolla hybrid's everywhere, right? So it's kind of rare to see these. And I kind of think that makes it a little bit cooler in some ways because you don't see them everywhere.
Yeah, and it's also in a lot of ways the original big seller in this space.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a recognizable name. Funny enough, Tommy is actually very enthusiastic about Priuses.
Oh, I love a Prius. I really did. Like, unironically, I think Priuses are fantastic.
100% unironically. Tommy loves Priuses, and I'm surprised to hear that this is your favorite generation because I thought you liked the original the most.
I do. I also like the XV20 and XV30 generation of Prius.
So he basically likes them all.
But this is
What about Prius V?
No, Prius V and C. No, I don't like those.
Not even the C?
I'm not into V or C.
The C looks a little sportier, Tommy.
Get that crap out of here. Not into that. But OG Prius, XV20, XV30, XV30 PHEV, which is the one Case loves. I know he's big into the original plug-in hybrid.
Yeah.
And then Old Prime, another one of Case's all-time favorites. But objectively, this is the greatest Prius I've ever done, and now it's not boring.
Yeah,
It's fun.
Exactly.
All right, guys, let us know what you think. This has been Tommy.
In Case.
We'll see you next time.